David Goggins was nearly 300 pounds, spraying for cockroaches at night, and stuck in a life going nowhere. He rebuilt himself into a Navy SEAL, an Army Ranger, an ultramarathon runner, and a world record holder using a single weapon: his mind. In Can't Hurt Me, he lays out the exact mental framework that did it. Here is the complete breakdown. It starts with the 40% rule. Goggins says that when your mind tells you that you're finished, you are actually only at about 40% of your true capacity. A mechanism in your brain, the governor, shuts you down early to keep you comfortable and safe. Most people live their entire lives at that 40%, never knowing how much more they had in the tank. The first tool is the accountability mirror. Every day, you face yourself in the mirror and tell the brutal truth about where you are, with zero softening. Not affirmations, self-confrontation. If you're lazy, you say it out loud. Then you put your real goals on sticky notes and stare at them until your effort finally matches your ambition. Goggins calls his rough start the bad hand. Abuse, poverty, racism, a learning disability. Instead of burying that pain, he gave it shape and turned it into fuel. The worse your hand, the more raw material you actually have. Your suffering is not an excuse. Used correctly, it becomes your single greatest source of power. The core of his method is callousing the mind. Just as your hands harden from gripping steel, your mind hardens from repeated contact with discomfort and pain. Every single time you push through something hard instead of quitting, you lay down another layer of mental armor that the same pain can no longer break. So you stop avoiding hardship and start hunting it down. When it rains, you run. When you're tired, you do one more. You brainwash yourself to crave the very discomfort that stops everyone else cold. This is not motivation, which always fades. It is a trained response, built one hard rep at a time. Make a list of everything you avoid because it is uncomfortable, the things you know are good for you, and start doing them. Goggins calls this taking the path of most resistance. Easy choices compound quietly into softness. Hard choices compound into capability. Choose the harder path on purpose every chance you get. When you're up against someone or something that expects you to break, use a tactic he calls taking souls. Outwork and outlast them so completely that they cannot believe what they are watching. You're not really doing it to beat them. You're using the game to dig out a second wind and reserves of power you never knew you had. When your mind starts to quit, reach into the cookie jar. This is a mental list of every hard thing you have already survived, every obstacle you have overcome. In the middle of the suffering, you pull out that proof and remind yourself, I have done hard things before, and I can do this too. Keep refilling the jar by doing more hard things. Before any battle, visualize it. Goggins builds what he calls the armored mind by imagining every obstacle, every setback, and every moment he might want to quit long before they arrive. When the real pain finally shows up, it has already lost the power to surprise him. Ignorance of the difficulty ahead is not courage. It is just being unprepared. Goggins runs his day like a military operation. He audits where his hours actually go, cuts out the wasted time, and schedules everything in tight blocks. Work, training, rest, and family all become non-negotiable missions. The point is not to move faster. It is to sustain a championship pace, not for a single season, but for life. And he wins the morning. While the rest of the world is still asleep, in the dark hours before dawn, he is already training. Those hours belong entirely to you. Claim them, and you build a quiet lead on everyone else before the day has even begun. In any long struggle, there's a valley right before the breakthrough where every part of you wants to quit. Goggins calls it staying in the fight. The second wind only ever comes to the people who refuse to stop before it arrives. You can never know how close you are only that quitting guarantees you will never find out. And when you fail, and you will, do not run from it. Goggins files an after-action report. He studies the failure like a forensic investigator. What went well, what his mindset was at each stage, what exactly to fix, and then he schedules the next attempt immediately. Failure is not the end. It is data for the next assault. That is the framework. There is no secret, no shortcut, and no one coming to save you. Goggins built everything he has by owning his life with no excuses, and by choosing the hard path over and over until nothing could break him. You already hold the same weapon he used, your mind. Callous it, and you become unstoppable. If this helped you, subscribe for more breakdowns of the books that change how you think.